Hello everyone and welcome to Raquel Teaches Code. My name is Raquel and today I'm going to be teaching you the basics of HTML so that you can create your very first web page. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I have here is my code editor and it's using Visual Studio Code. Go ahead and open up your favorite code editor. I've gone ahead and created a file and I've given it the HTML extension. Also, if you're using Visual Studio Code or if you're using GitHub Code Spaces, you'll be able to preview your page in one of two ways. You can either install an extension, and an extension that I have installed here, it's called HTML Preview. You can just search for it. You can click on the extensions menu and then search for it if you don't already have it installed, and you want to install the one that's by George Oliveira. Do not install the one that has the line through it because that one is no longer maintained. So just go ahead and install that free extension, and what will happen is once you install that, you'll have an additional option here in your upper right that allows you to preview the HTML document that you're creating. Another way that you can do it is just once you edit and save the file, just open up the file with the browser as I demonstrated in the previous video about how to select a code editor. If you didn't watch that video yet, I'll provide a link to it in the description for this video. Okay, so I have my extension installed and now we're ready to go. So what does HTML stand for? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And what that means is it's a language that allows you to display content. HTML is the language that's used for all websites on the internet today. It is the basis of with which content and text is displayed. And so what HTML does is allows you to use what's called elements or tags, opening and closing tags, to display different types of content. And by that content, it could be the title or the heading on a page. It could be a paragraph. It could be a link to something, a video, an image. You can display all kinds of things using HTML. And so I'm going to show you the basics of that today. I'm going to show you the components of a page as well as how to start with some basic elements. You can go ahead and practice and create a page with elements and content that you want. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first step you have to do is always create an HTML document with the HTML tag. And the HTML tag will always start with the doc type attribute. And so if you're using a code editor like I am and you start the document, it will start to detect that you need to insert certain things and it'll make suggestions for you like it does here. So I'm going to go ahead and let it add that. And now one thing you want to remember with HTML is that every element has an opening and a closing tag. So the opening tag just uses less than and greater than brackets, and then the closing tag also does that, but you'll have a slash in front of it. Okay, so what this does is it's letting me open up the document and close the document. All right, so this is the first line is the beginning of the document, the second line is the absolute end of the document. And I'm just going to put some spaces in there so I can insert other items that are required for this. So inside of the opening and closing tags for the HTML, oh, and I'm sorry, I meant to mention that doc type, what that means is that we're telling the web browser that's going to be displaying this page that this document is using HTML version 5. Okay. So now the two other sections that you always want to include in your HTML documents are the head section and the body section. And they are spelled out just like they sound, head, okay? And then we also want to include the body, okay? So the head section of the HTML document will include what's called metadata. And so what that is it's information that's used to describe the document. It's also information used to connect this document to other documents or to other technologies, stuff that you'll learn about later. Another thing that it does, it helps you display other information that will be displayed in just certain sections of the browser, such as the title. This is the only place that actually displays, this is the only data that goes in the head that actually can be seen by the user. So we're going to go ahead and add a title to our web page today, right? So that is just done with the title tag. So you're going to put your brackets again, right? See how it added the closing tag automatically for me. And I'm going to add a title to the page. So I'm just going to call this my first web page. Alrighty. And as you're working, you also want to make sure that you're saving. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and save that. And now the body. So the body of the HTML document actually is where the content is displayed, right? So everything you put in the body section is what users are going to see when they visit the web page on the internet, or what you see when you preview it in your browser. The body can contain all kinds of things, right? So we can insert elements that can display a heading. We can insert elements that display a paragraph, an image, a video, a table, etc. In today's example, we're just going to add a heading and a paragraph so you can see how that looks and how that works. When it comes to headings in HTML, there are actually 6 levels or 6 styles of headings. And what that means is they are numbered, right? So the tag is the lowercase h, and you can add anything between a 1 and a 6 next to it. The 1 is the largest heading size and the 6 is the smallest. So we're going to go ahead with the largest heading size first so you can see what that looks like. So we're going to type the opening tag, right? You see it adds a closing, and we're just going to add a simple heading here. Okay, that's the heading. Let's save those changes. And then we're going to add a paragraph. And the paragraph, as you guessed, just uses the P as an element. So we're going to go ahead and add a P, closing P, and we're just going to add some more text. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and save that. So now if you've gone ahead and installed the preview extension like I did, you can click on it here, and what you should see on your right hand side is a preview of what the web page will look like. So you'll see that the heading "You Good" is in a big bold text, and the paragraph text is in a smaller plain weight text. Okay, so this is how it displays when you're looking at it in the code editor. If you want to view it in the browser, you can simply just go to a browser and open up the file the same way we did in the previous lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So if I go here to my browser, I already have it open, and I just go ahead and open this file, what I will get should be the same. But one additional bonus that you get in the browser that you don't get in the preview of the code editor is that you can see the page title as well. So we can see here the page title we gave it, My First Web Page. We can see the heading, and we can see the paragraph. So congratulations, you just created your first web page. Sorry about that. There are tons of other elements that can be used to create a web page, and we'll get into those. But there is one more thing that I want to add here before we close out for today, and that is the importance of using comments in your code. So what comments are is that it's another bit of text that's just visible to you and to others that may be reviewing or using your code. It's important, and it's a good practice to use comments because it serves 2 purposes. One, if you ever need to go back to this code and reference it for something, your code can let you know what you meant, what you were doing, or how it's supposed to work. So it works as a reference for yourself, but it also works if you're sharing this code with other people so that they can understand what the code is supposed to do, how it works, and if they're going to make changes or editing any edits or incorporating it into any other applications, they have an expectation or an understanding of what it should be doing. And so comments in HTML also have their own opening and closing tag. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what that looks like. All right, so I'm just going to put a comment above the paragraph element here. So the way the comments work is you put the bracket, an exclamation point, 2 hyphens, and you'll see that right away the code editor added the closing comment tag there. So where you would place your comment text is in between those opening and closing tags. All right, so I can just put something simple like below will display paragraph text. Okay, and so anything you place in between these opening and closing comment tags will just be displayed in a different color usually, and it will not display on the website at all. All right, and comments can be included in the body section of your document as well as in the head section. All right, and again, I strongly encourage you to use comments just so you can remember what you were doing, what it's supposed to do, and if sometimes when you're debugging, it'll help you with it as well. So go ahead and save your comments and go ahead and make a creation of your own, and feel free to share it in the comments below. Okay, hope this was helpful. Thanks for checking in, and have a blessed day.